Good morning. Today is December 22nd, a Wednesday. It's about 8 in the morning here. And I wanted to give you guys a tour of where I've been pretty much this past month. I am at the one and only Riverside Marina in Fort Pierce, Florida. It's a bit of a notorious marina for being not exactly upscale, but I've been here almost a month now, and I actually really like the place. I wouldn't mind it if it was more upscale, but then it would cost more money, and I like that it doesn't cost so much money. So I'm gonna give you guys a quick tour of the marina, and then talk to you guys a little bit about what I'm doing, what I need to do, and how this marina has been helping me. Let's take a look. So Riverside isn't known for its dockage. It's known for its large boatyard over here, which extends quite a ways actually. Here's where boats get hauled out by the travel lift. That's where my boat was beginning of the month. Get picked up right here and then move along. So here's my boat, looking, well, I'm working on it. This is pretty much what I've been doing the past weeks and such. Everything's been blasted off, got a chance to dig in and find some of these holes here. So, the boat is coming together. So, if you look around this place, it's not exactly clean. But who cares? You can do any work that you want to here. And that's what I love so much about this boatyard, this marina, Riverside, is that it's not clean, it's not perfect, it's not pristine. And I think it's gotten a very bad reputation over the years that I don't think it deserved at all. At least not if you are going through the right people. So this marina is split between a brother and a sister. I go through the sister, Sally, and her right-hand woman, Sue, and the two of them run this place very well from what I can see. I have electrical if I need it. I have water from over here if I need it. And again, none of it's perfect here, but I can do any work I want to on my boat. All the other people here are surprisingly very helpful. I just don't really have any complaints. It's cheap to be here. This really is the place for me to be right now. So there it is. That's pretty much my assessment of Riverside so far. I'm planning on being here probably another month, and I've got a few things I gotta take care of, so let's look at that list. All right, welcome back on Adventure Born. We're down below in my editing station. Been able to do a little bit of work inside my boat, but the purpose really for me being here at Riverside is to work on the bottom. And with the help of my good friend Jay Safro, I've developed a list. If I can complete this list, I can leave here. And I do want to leave here. I do want to go back to Harbor Town Marina. It's just a nicer place for me to live and to work on other projects as well. Yeah, so it was a little bit tough. So first off was Sandblasting the Bottom. That cost me $2,700. It was 70 bucks a foot. So as I've talked to everybody else here at the marina, at the boatyard, they've all said, wow, I wish I had done that. The materials, the time, and everything that would have taken me to blast through all those layers would have been substantial, but I already got it done. Now I've got to grind and fill the blisters. I've already grinded out all the blisters. There's one or two that have the tiniest amount of water still coming out, but generally speaking, I got really lucky. My boat's in really good shape still. Because my boat is 1986, it's built with a thicker hull than normal. If I had had a newer boat and I had neglected the boat blisters like I had, I would have been in a lot more trouble, but thankfully I have that on my side. So I have grinded the blisters, now I need to fill the blisters. So I'll be putting in an epoxy into there that'll bind and actually be stronger than what else is around it. And once I do that, then I can start to sand and fair the boat, and then I'll have a nice smooth hull once again. It'll look a little strange, but then I can start putting on the many layers of barrier epoxy coat, and then eventually the actual boat paint itself, which at the moment, and this might change, but at the moment I'm thinking about going with a iceberg blue, or an ice blue color, which is, I don't really have anything on the boat here that's similar to it. Maybe this rag is a little bit, but yeah, I'm pretty excited. I have a few design ideas, and if you guys have any design ideas for what I should go with for the boat, I'd love to hear about it. And of course, I'm gonna have to do like a boot stripe or something so it's not too plain, but I'm thinking about going with like a navy blue boot stripe, something like that. So anyway, so that would kind of do it for the bottom job, which has been a significant amount of effort and pain and suffering. And I recognize that I haven't been here not even a tenth as long as many other people who didn't get the bottom of their sailboat blasted by sand and things like that. So anyway, moving on, I've got my Cutlass Bearing that I want to replace, as per my friend was telling me to do that. I've talked with a few other sailors that I think are very knowledgeable, one of my neighbors in particular, about what to do for my propeller. I've wanted to go with a folding or a feathering propeller so it'd have no drag in the back and my boat would sail just that much faster. And I've looked at them and they're about like $3,000 to $3,500 just for the propeller. It also is a factor that the propeller with moving pieces, so if I do hit something, it's not as likely that I'm going to do any permanent damage to the propeller if I go with a fixed propeller similar to mine. On the advice of this boat neighbor of mine, he suggested getting a tri-blade. At the moment I have a 2-blade. That's kind of an older style. He also suggested that it would reduce my prop walk, which is pretty significant. My boat, when I'm reversing, will pull me off to the right no matter what, and it seems to never be useful for me. So at the moment I think I'm gonna go with the tri-blade, but again we'll see as that comes down to it. I have a little bit of delamination on my rudder towards the very bottom, so I'm gonna just grind that away and then fill it back up with an epoxy. It'll be even stronger than before. The great thing about fiberglass is that it's infinitely repairable. Doesn't matter what damage you do to it, as long as you still got some left, you can cut around it, grind it down, and then adhere either more fiberglass or an epoxy to it. And that's really important. That's just a great thing about fiberglass sailboats, so you can just keep repairing them. The keel joint is gonna need some, well, the keel joint needs to be fixed. So the keel joint, basically my keel sits here underneath my boat, held in place by, I wanna say about 8 just big, beefy, thick bolts. Well, there is a material in between there called the keel joint. It's just a kind of a joining material, sort of like an adhesive, I guess, that prevents any water or anything like that from getting inside of there. I need to ground out whatever I can from there that doesn't, that isn't staying in there well, because a lot of it's staying in there really well, but there is some, especially towards the front and the back, that I need to kind of grind back in and then replace. And I forget what compound I'm going to be using for that. I think I'm supposed to not use 5200, but I really want to use 5200 because that stuff just never goes away. It's great. I need to figure out the through hole for my water maker, which I think I might actually be able to reuse one of the ones I already have on the boat, so I'm going to double check that. As well then where I'm going to be injecting the salt water, but I can cut a hole through my boat later for that, so we'll see once that comes through. I also need to check all of my through holes in general. The through hole for the exit of my bathroom, when I go out to sea and I go to pump out my septic tank, that through hole is looking a bit corroded, so I'm probably going to take that section off and put a new one on. So hopefully that doesn't turn into an extra long project. And then I gotta check my keel bolts, and that's pretty much it. So do the rest of the bottom, Cutlass Bearing, a new propeller, check out the rudder, make sure it's okay, which it is. Figure out where the water maker is going, check all the through holes, check the keel bolts. That's it. That's what I need to do to put my boat back in the water and get back over to a nice marina like Harbor Town. That being said, it only costs about $400 for me to be here a month, so that's less than half of what I was paying over at Harbor Town. So it's definitely more expensive to be over there, but it's just that I can live over at Harbor Town. You can't live on the Hard here. So it just makes life a little bit more challenging for me. Anyway, that's pretty much what I got going on. I like the marina that I'm at. I like the boatyard that I'm at, I should say. And I've got plenty of projects to do. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Like I said, today is I think today is like the 20th? 22nd. Wow, Christmas is just a few days away. I'm going to try to rush and put out a new video that I actually already wrote the script for, that I'm very excited to share with you guys, because it encapsulates how I feel about sailing and what my goal is. And that's something I've had a really hard time putting into words. So I'll be putting that out first to my patrons, of course, and they've actually already seen the script and commented and been chatting with them. So if you're not yet, check out my Patreon account. Feel free to join it. Lots of good stuff there. But otherwise, yeah, thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. Cheers.